A very good morning to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this momentous event for today. I'm Victor, and it gives me great pleasure to be your MC for today's Capital A event. I'd like to introduce the management of Capital A and AirAsia. Let us give a warm welcome to Tony Fernandes, CEO of Capital A. Bo Lingam, President of Aviation, Capital A, and Group CEO, AirAsia Aviation Group Limited. Kesavan Sivanandam, Chief Airport and Customer Experience Officer. Capital A and AirAsia Management Team. Can we have all of you down here, please? Requested by Tony. Thank you. And last but not least, distinguished guests, members of the media here in Malaysia and around the region, and those dialing in from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, and fellow All-Stars, welcome to the unveiling of Customer Experience 2023. I believe many of us are actually curious to know about today's announcement. Without further ado, I would like to invite Tony Fernandes, CEO of Capital A, to stage to deliver the news. Tony, the stage is yours.
It's all about the game and how you play it.
Good morning, everyone. It's kind of a big day for us for many, many reasons. Today is probably the first time in my 21 years that we've actually live streaming a press event on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, etc. Because this event is not just for the media, but it's really for our, since we started this airline, almost 800 million people have flown us. So this event really is for all of them, on top of all of you here today. So firstly, I'd like to welcome all the media from around the world, from ASEAN, and physical and offline. And obviously my staff in our wonderful office at Red Q, and all our staff all over around the world, all our All-Stars around the world. It's amazing that actually yesterday was our record day of sales since COVID, which is since January the 8th, 2000, which is when really COVID began to impact us. We have had really a nightmare situation. And so yesterday, Paul, our head of revenue at the back there, sent me a text this morning to say yesterday was the best day of sales since January the 8th, 2000, which is a fantastic piece of news for me and for all our All-Stars here. It is quite a comeback story. If you think, 3 years ago, about this time, there was no planes flying. 204 planes on the ground, many of my wonderful staff not earning a salary. We didn't know our future, and we had to all regroup and think about how we survive. So today, to see a record day of sales for AirAsia Group is a huge testament to all my staff, all my All-Stars that stayed strong, never gave up, and believe that we could come back. And for me, yesterday I flew to Singapore, and to see people so happy that we're flying again and having holidays again is amazing for me. It doesn't really come through in my voice or my excitement, but when Paul sent me the text this morning, it was a fantastic feeling for me that maybe the end is near on COVID, and we're finally going back to the good old days. In fact, better days, because now we have our super app and big pay and logistics on top of Red Aviation services. So really we took COVID and we hit it on the head and hopefully build a better and stronger company going forward. And, just to summarize before I go into this event, we now have AirAsia Malaysia, AirAsia AirAsia Thailand. Both are two oldest. Thailand just had its 21 years of operating. It doesn't feel like 21 years, it actually feels like 40 years since I launched our first flight in Bangkok 21 years ago. And then our two younger AOCs are now really powering up. We're very, very excited by what's happening in AirAsia Indonesia and how we're going to really develop a lot of international routes and bring lots of people, tourists into Indonesia. This is an amazing country. And finally, Philippines. We are really launching a lot of international flights and not just developing Manila, but Kalibo, Cebu, and more to come. We want to open up the Philippines and Indonesia to the world. And hopefully later on this year, we will open AirAsia Cambodia, which is our first new AOC for a long time. And we're hoping in 2024 we will open 2 more AOCs to complete our ASEAN dream. So that's kind of where we are. And just to finalize from a capital A, we have Red Aviation Services, which is our engineering company, GTR, Santan, and our consulting arm. Digital is taking a new life now with the close collaboration between BigPay and Super App. We're really becoming a very powerful travel app in the Super App, and our ride-hailing is doing really, really well. And finally, Teleport. We're taking our first freighter. First time in 21 years, we will have a freighter. And logistics is really becoming a very big part of our business. So during COVID, we had our problems, in terms of not being able to fly, but we also had huge amount of problems trying to deal with 90 million people who had booked flights with us and wanted a refund and wanted to know what's happening. And it really was nightmare 2. Nightmare 1 was just surviving. Nightmare 2 was trying to look after this 90 million people who were demanding a refund, what's happening and all that. And we couldn't do it because we just didn't have the cash to be able to do it. But today I'm going to explain how even that we have solved now. The majority of our refunds have been paid. And, a lot of these questions were being answered by our first AI bot, which was Ask AVA. And, in 2019, we thought we were ahead of the curve. We came up with Ask AVA because we thought that was a more efficient way of dealing. We hired AVA, we coached her and tried our best. But then COVID came and she couldn't cope, really, with what happened. I'll tell you the story in a second. But, that was the second part of COVID. We always talk about the 200 planes, my staff not being able to earn a salary. But there was a huge issue of dealing with customers, our guests, throughout this 2.5 years. And then when we restart, people think, okay, COVID's over, AirAsia should be back to normal again. But you have 200 planes that didn't fly for 3 years. Trying to fix those 200 planes within a short period is just impossible. And then if you haven't used your body for sport for 2 years and then you suddenly use it, you will discover new muscles. So as these planes haven't flown for the best part of 2.5 years, little technical issues. So then after we had all the refund issues, we had planes being delayed coming out of maintenance, we had a lot of tech issues, and so more refunds, more complaints were coming through. That has ended now, because now we have 150 planes, our on-time performance is over 86%, and the team, all my Allstars, especially my engineering team, which a lot of them are based in that quarter, have done an incredible job in getting our performance back to where it was, which has resulted in yesterday being a record day of sales. So that kind of sets the scene. And as you know, in 2019, we launched AVA to assist our guests with flight bookings, browsing for deals, online shopping, and customer support. In 2020, COVID happened. And so AVA was stressed no end. Okay? Carry on. So just to give you what, I mean, she's a great all-star. She's hated by many people out there. We're not going to hide the facts. She's been consulting a psychiatrist for the last year. But, you know, we've tried to keep her together. She dealt with 113 million people. That's bigger than any country in ASEAN. Just to give you the size, to be fair on AVA, 113 million people. She engaged in 2019 with 15 million people directly. And then after COVID, 43 million. And while many people were frustrated, this is, I mean, everyone's talking about ChatGPT and AI. We were ahead of the curve. And no one's expecting the first AI bot to be perfect, but it was double whammy when you have COVID thrown into it as well. No AI bot could really have survived COVID. But to her credit, 80% of queries were handled by AVA, right? And don't forget, we're not a simple company. We have Thai language, many forms of Bahasa, so many dialects in Chinese, Indian, many dialects. And so AirAsia is not just a one language company, it's not just English. So AVA had so many more issues on top of that. But anyway, this is AVA. And, you know, after lots of discussions, putting on my old hat as the apprentice. I don't know if you ever watched that, but I was the Donald Trump of Southeast Asia. In fact, when I met Donald Trump, I was wearing my AirAsia cap. So his cap is probably my idea. When he put Make America Great, he probably stole it from my red cap when I met him in New York. But after a lot of discussion, we had lots of sessions with AVA, we've decided that we're going to fire her. So AVA, I want to thank you and wish you the best of luck working for another airline, but you're fired. The end. Please do not mention AVA to me anymore. She is going into the history, our museum. By the way, Johnny, that's a very cruel way of getting rid of her. You disintegrated her digitally. Very harsh. But there we go. I wouldn't mind disintegrating a few other people, by the way, in that manner. But we'll stick to AVA for the moment. So, thank you, AVA. While she is probably the most disliked chatbot in ASEAN, I still think she did an amazing job, and COVID was once in a century kind of situation. And so, you know, it wasn't all bad. But we keep going. We keep growing. We keep innovating. We never gave up. You know, we sat there, and I want to thank Mariana and Aino, Kesavan and Dee, especially our communications team, who, you know, I'm a bit defensive. I'm very pro my all-stars. I've always said I put my all-stars first before I put my customers. And I could see the pain we were all going through and people complaining, and I'm like, don't people understand, you know, that this is a nightmare and people are being unreasonable. And so I was defensive, to be honest, and our communications team, led by Mariana, said, look, we have to listen to customers. You have to listen, Tony. Don't just defend AirAsia and the Allstars. I know this is your baby, but let's look at both sides. People may think I'm stubborn, but I'm not. I'm a really soft, cuddly teddy bear. Less cuddly now because I'd like to announce to the world's press that I've lost 7 kilos and I will be disintegrating slowly in weight. And within 6 months, you won't recognize me. I will look more like my very good-looking cabin crew over there, Alvin, and the older version, Aman. That is my goal in life, that I will look like them before I depart this earth. So, when Mariana and Aino and all these, we're not listening, we've got to feel what our guests go through. I stood back and I said, yeah, you're right. And so then I was determined to make the very best in the world. Doesn't matter whether they're low cost. We've won the world's best low-cost airline 14 times, but I wanted to build a system and an experience that was the best in the world, and I believe we can do it. And so we set about doing that. The team, the communications team, and our very dynamic Kesavan and Dee, wherever she is, started going through thousands and thousands and millions of complaints and queries. So how could we make a system that was more intuitive, more responsive, able to allowing people to deal with issues themselves? It was a huge task because we're flying 90 million people. But I think the team, in a very short period of time, and I don't actually remember when Mariana was very aggressively telling me that, we should be listening to customers more, our guests more. But in a very short time, we've come up with a new product. And then in this hall, we were deciding, how are we going to name this product? AVA's gone. What is it? Now, I've always said, if you look at an AirAsia press release, we never put a spokesman said. We're always accountable, good or bad. We always say someone has to be responsible and someone has to know that there's a person behind our problem or a person behind the statement. And so we wanted to make AVA the replacement of AVA, the newer, I don't know how many of you are very young, but for those of you who are older, there used to be a TV program called $6 Million Man, right? Steve Austin, a man barely alive. We can rebuild him. We can make him the first bionic man. All of you are too young. Go and search on YouTube. It was a very, very powerful TV series for me. And Bo, the older people in this room. Colin, who looks young but actually is over 50. He just visits Korea very often and has many stem cells. But he's old, all right, just to dispel the thoughts there. We wanted to build a $6 million AI bot, right? But we wanted it to be known, not some mysterious woman created by Joanny, because he's still looking for one. So he created one in an AI style. And a lot of AirAsia spontaneity and innovation on the spot. And while we were discussing this, there was one person sitting right in front of me that epitomized what AirAsia is about and epitomized my 21 years of working in AirAsia. This person has been with me probably working for me for over 30 years. He started in a very small record company called EMI and then joined me at Warner Music in charge of production and making cassettes. And then when I had this idea of starting up an airline, I said, come and join me. he never questioned the business model. He never questioned, are you mad? Which Kesavan definitely would have, because he went to the top university in France. Bo and Colin didn't go to university, and that's why they're actually smarter than Kesavan. But, well, maybe not Colin. But this guy has been my left hand, right hand, backbone, everything, because I always ask him. Whenever there's an issue, I ask Bo. And so the most logical person to take over AVA is Bo Lingam. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I present our new virtual AI? And Bo is kind of a robot anyway. He's, you know, if you were to, I get confused when I see the AI bot and Bo, because they're kind of similar. Not much emotion, doesn't laugh much, you know. But the AI bot is actually much more friendly than Bo. So we are getting the AI bot to train Bo to smile more, to be happier. Part of his deal was, he said, could you give me hair in the AI bot? So we are investigating a hair transplant, and as we get better, you know, as you guys begin to love Ask Bo, I think Ask Bo will grow hair. And at the same time, we will try and plant some hair on Bo's head as an experiment, because that's his wish, is to have a head of hair like Colin, myself. Kesavan's hair is gone already. But to have that thick head of hair, like our cabin crew, you know, that's Bo's dream, is to have hair like this man here. You know, who gets up in the morning, looks at himself and says, God, I'm good looking, spends 25 minutes combing his hair, and then says, God, I'm really good looking. Okay, that's Bo's dream. And so we as Allstars have to try and make that happen, first virtually, and then live. So I want to thank Bo. You know, I couldn't have survived COVID without him. I couldn't have survived QZ8501 without Bo, and my, you know, life would be a much, much worse life without him in my life. He's the only guy that I've dedicated a plane to in 21 years, and because he's so scary, engineering has never repainted that plane. My plane, the Apprentice plane, was taken off, Tun Mahathir's plane taken off, many other planes taken off. The only plane that has survived 18 years of not repainting, because engineering and Mahesh are terrified of him, is Bo's plane, which we'll probably now repaint to Ask Bo. So Bo, thank you very much for being my backbone,
Thank you,
my
Don.
left and right hand, especially during this COVID period. I think I'm quite good at marketing, and I think I couldn't have picked 100%. No one can take credit for this. This is my name, okay, along with Now Everyone Can Fly. These are two names that, when I'm finally gone, I hope to be buried with me. I don't expect to be buried, by the way. I hope Malaysian airports will embalm my body in KLIA 2, and there'll be, like Lennon and all these leaders, there'll be a shrine that you can all come and visit once in a while and smile at me and take pictures, and Aman and Alvin can cheer me even when I'm gone. So this is a very long speech today, okay, but you're not going anywhere because our flights are on time, and so you can get the next flight if you've missed this. But I'd like Bo to introduce his avatar, which is the next generation of our AI bot, which we're very, very proud of. I'd like to thank Kesavan and Dee, who put a tremendous amount of work into this, Mariana, Aino, who also put a hell of a lot of work into this, and all the people behind it, some other people behind it that I saw on Instagram. So all of them, you know, I'm extremely proud of you. If this doesn't work, then you're all fired. Because I can't fire Bo, so because I need him for other things. But I really think it will work. It's going to be fantastic. Now, before I ask Bo to introduce it, this is Ask Bo is dedicated to all our guests. It's not going to be perfect from day one. We have a lot of enhancements, which I will talk about in the end of March. And AI is like safety. No airline can say they're 100% safe. It's a marathon. It's a journey. Every day you try and be safer and you try and improve it. Every day we will be improving Ask Bo. Every day Bo will become a nicer person as we improve him. My first gift to him was a mirror so he can practice smiling. And give a big smile, Bo. See, look at that. Isn't that a wonderful smile? Please give him a round of applause. Okay. All right. I think what I didn't know about Bo is he's very vain. The branding and team had a nightmare trying to get him to approve himself. And in the end, they gave up and just said, can you please deal with Bo? And I said, Bo, I think it's great. And he said, okay. And probably stabbed me 10 times with my AirAsia teddy bear Tony doll. So this tool is pretty good, but it's going to get better and better and better. The only way it'll get better if all the Allstars contribute to keep telling us how to make it better, to tell Mariana and Kesavan and Dee and the data team behind it and the tech team behind it, which is at the back there, and all our guests communicate with us. So this is a community AI project. This is what I term as AirAsia Republic. When you fly with AirAsia, you're part of our community, you're part of our republic. We're coming out with a messenger system. We're coming out with many more community features, NFTs, etc. We're building our own kind of republic or kingdom, depending on how you see us. Thais may see us as kingdom, Indonesia may see us as republic. But we're a community, and we're going to be building more and more features that as you become a citizen of AirAsia Republic, Ask Bo is your AI system to make your experience in our country a better one. So on that note, I will ask Bo to introduce himself to the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, here I present to you Ask Bo.
Is that it?
Thank you, Tony, for the insightful presentation.
I haven't finished.
Thank you, Tony.
There's a lot more to go, my man. Go get your cabin crew uniform on and get on the next flight. When did we start this? What was the QLF that we first mentioned, Colin? January last year? Okay, so 1 year ago we talked about Ask Bo. So I think, the video, one of the great things about AirAsia is we never hide from the truth. I'm going to talk about some of our issues now so you can report about it. And we're fast. 1 year to put this all together is massive, because at the same time, we were trying to launch the airline again. And I think it was at the first QLF, we have a quarterly leadership meeting run by Colin. And at that, I decided to name it Ask Bo. And we've progressed it and progressed it and progressed it till today it is launched. So, I think the tagline which Mariana said to me is, you think it's enough, but it's not enough. We can be better for the people who fly with us. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be better. We're trying to be more responsive. We're trying to listen to you. We're trying to hear all your issues and deal with it head on, not in a defensive manner. So I really believe we can make this the best system in the world, but it requires you. Bo is as real as you can get. I mean, you know, if I was launching myself, it would have taken 10 minutes describing myself. Bo said it in 7 words. That's what Ask Bo is. It's going to be fast, efficient, responsive, and to the point. No fluff, right? And as the presentation says, as trusty an operations wizard and fuss-free. So just to explain to you, we are now 150 planes. We got 50 planes more to go. All our crew are back. All our pilots are back. We've had to retrain a lot of guest service staff. And if you look at our airports now, you'll begin to see so many improvements. We're going to be using facial technology so that you can board and pay very soon with your face. We're now testing it out more and more. And we encourage everyone to register their face so that they can transact more easily, not just with AirAsia, but with capital A. I want to thank you know, the operations side. I'm not sure if the engineering guys are here, but our engineering guys are the real heroes of the last 2 years in getting our operation back together. So I really think there's enormous amount of human stories, enormous amount of interesting stories for you, the press, to interview our engineering team, to know, you know, putting 200 planes back into operation is massive. It's not like just opening a supermarket or a restaurant the next day, right? One day it's closed because of COVID. Next day you can virtually open again, but putting that together is not, and restarting the operation. And a large part of restarting that operation is down to one man in the airport and stuff, and who has worked tirelessly and been really a fantastic asset to AirAsia. And I want to call him out now. He's the only Indian I know who speaks French. I mean, Indian from India, by the way. And he's defensive, like most Indians. Thinks he knows everything, like most Indians. But we've molded him a bit, and he has been probably the All-Star of the Year in 2022. If we had such an award, I would give it to this man. And so please also welcome, I think, a massive part of this operation in making AirAsia back to the world's best low-cost airline is down to Kesavan. Please stand, Kesavan. One of the wonderful stories in AirAsia is that I can walk around and I can see talent. And around this room, there's so much talent that I've picked, you know, just when I noticed them. And I was in Bangalore airport many years ago, and I saw this guy, and I was really impressed with him. And I asked Bo, who automatically said, no way. And then I said, no, he's got something about him. And I'm very proud that I made that decision in picking Kesavan. So thank you for your incredible job that you're doing and the future job that you're doing. So there's more about it. I'm not going to go through this, but you know, this is what the team has put together. It's very proactive. It delivers more personalized information. Guests can perform and change things faster and easier. A lot of self-service tools. We want to make sure that you know exactly where your flight is. And just like Grab or AirAsia Ride, the more superior ride-hailing company, you know where your taxi is. You know where it is. We eventually want to let you know where your plane is, so that you know it's coming into the gate on time. While we're building maps and all of that, already now you will know when the plane is arriving. We want to stop people waiting in airports. There are going to be delays. No airline can avoid delays. There's going to be delays from technical issues, from weather, from airport closures. It's going to happen. Delays happen. How we manage delays is the difference between milk and cream. And so already now you'll begin to see a very proactive stance the period, and we're going to be very transparent. Within the next 2 months, there will be a live on-time performance, a live refund status, how many refunds are outstanding, a live number of complaints that haven't been answered, and baggage. Actually, we're one of the best airlines in the world for baggage. We hardly lose any baggage. Once in a while, we have spectacular ways of doing that. We will put all the bags from one plane into another plane. That was a long time ago. But baggage is one of our best performers. But all of that's going to be live. At any moment you can see, we're going to be transparent. We're not going to hide anything, right? And on refunds, which has been the biggest issue probably for our customers, Malaysia is all paid up. The refunds we are dealing with now is for the last 30 days. And it normally takes us about 2 to 3 weeks because of banking, etc., credit card to clear a refund. We're trying to fasten that process. But Malaysia is up to speed, and all these refunds are from flight cancellations and delays from our rescheduling, which has now ended. Refunds for the last 2 months are very, very small because our schedule and our on-time performance is really excellent. Thailand is up to speed. Indonesia is virtually cleared. And Philippines, we do have delays. I want to be transparent. We're working on that. We're encouraging people to use their cash to fly because now Philippines has 14 planes. We're increasing it to 20 planes. And so the quicker way than waiting for a cash refund is to use the credit shell. So Philippines, we do have still some issues, and it will take us about 6 months to get all those refunds. But we're encouraging people to fly now using their credit. That's what a lot of Malaysians did to clear their refunds. And in Thai AirAsia X and AirAsia X, we're subject to the restructuring rules. So we can't give cash because of the restructuring rules, but we've given vouchers to everyone, and Thai AirAsia X is still going through the restructuring. So refunds is very, very clear. Complaints are, I always say complaints are free market research. Someone bothered to write to us to tell us why we're wrong. And so we're going to use those complaints to be better and improve our service, and we will respond to the average time it takes to respond to a complaint, according to INO, is 4.8 days at the moment. And so again, all of these live trackers will be on going forward, on top of all these other things, and more languages will come on as we come on stream. Okay? Next slide. That's it. Okay, so that's it, really. I want to stress that end of March, when you question AVA about your refund or your lost bags, you put in your PNR number, you will get a one-to-one answer exactly where you are in the queue, right? So end of March, any customer communication with AirAsia and ask Bo, you will get a direct answer. Oh, it's 1 week away, or it's in this part of the queue, or your bag has now been found and we're now sending it back. So end of March is when we do that. And you know, there's going to be bugs. It's not going to be perfect day one. We'll get better and better and better as we go along, right? So please help us in making this better. You'll see from your press packs, we've put out some of the most common questions and complaints that people give to us. On Friday, we'll be launching a very big sales campaign. This is really the first sales campaign I can say that we're back. We're naming it Size Matters because we carry 90 million people. We have the widest network, the most number of destinations. And so we're the only airline that can give the most number of low fares because we have a huge amount of capacity. So stay tuned for Friday, which is another exciting day for me because that is the beginning of the end of COVID for me personally, with a massive sales campaign. AirAsia X is really doing great, and we'll be talking about them on Friday as well, Friday afternoon. So finally, this wouldn't have happened without a lot of people. And the amazing thing about AirAsia is, one, I can spot talent. Two is I give that talent an opportunity to go and develop things. And three is I give people the opportunity to dream and believe that they can make a difference. And I want to personally thank, from people's passion, this Ask Bo came along. So I want to thank, wherever they are, Mariana and Aino, who really drove the initial part of the project. Where are you two? Aino's behind the counter. Please come up. And Mariana, please come up. These two whacked me non-stop. Please introduce yourselves. And said we have to be nicer to our guests, and I'm too defensive. So thank you very much. I'm incredibly proud of both of you. I met Aino. She graduated with an MBA. I went to her graduation, and I said, "What job are you going to do?" And she said, "I don't know. They haven't found me something." And at that moment, I said, "I have a good idea for you." And the two of them have been the kind of idea generation, the passion. AirAsia, we need passion. We need people who believe and are excited and want to make a difference. And these two women did an incredible job in changing my mindset. And then Kesavan and Dee. Is Dee here? She's still on leave. Dee, please come up as well. Dee is our other silent, actually she's very much not silent, but one of our heroes in putting this all together. This woman handles the 90 million questions we get a day. Could I please ask the four of you to come on stage? Mariana, Aino, Dee, and Kesavan. Please come on stage. Allstars, you have to know these people did an incredible job. And where is there's one more, the tech lady. What's her name? Huh? Afiza. And there's a guy as well. What's his name? Afdal. Can you two please come up as well? So only 6 people put this together, and most of their time was spent with Bo because he didn't like how he looked. So if you take that time out, it's in... Huh? That's all right. Rudy gets a lot of praise all the time. So, okay, where's Rudy? Is Rudy here? He's in wherever he is. But anyway, Rudy, our branding guy, who does all our brand. Is he here? Rudy, come up. I didn't remember you, Mariana did. And Izal. Oh yeah, Ishal, come up. This is what Bo wants to look like, by the way. So this is the dream for Bo. He wants to look like this man coming up now. Okay? So we all have to hope that the hair transplant man can make Bo look like Izal. All right? Guys, I'm incredibly proud of you. Thank you so much for your hard work. You are true all-stars. You know, the power of AirAsia, the power that we survived COVID and are going to become stronger and carry 100 million people, and the fact that we can talk about buying new planes again. I announced yesterday that we're signing 15 more planes. Is down to incredible people. And if you think just really, I mean, Rudy and Isal did the graphics, but the real hard work was done by really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. That shows the power. It's like the video you saw. It was an idea that I came up, and in 2 days, the team put together this incredible video with our wonderful cabin crew. That is our power. That is why we'll continue to be successful. We never hide from our problems. We hit them on. When I hide from it, people like Mariana will tell me, don't hide, let's be better, and we'll come back stronger and better. Thank you for listening to me. You didn't have a choice, but thank you for listening. Thank you to all the people out there. We're not perfect, but we're honest, we're transparent, we're going to be better, and we're going to serve you better, and we're going to hit 1 billion people that will fly with us since I started this airline 21 years ago with my other founders. So thank you very much for coming. I think there's a panel later to ask whatever questions you want. Kesavan loves to talk. Mariana loves to talk. So please ask them the history and all of this behind. Thank you also to Colin, who has inspired us with all his, I am not the most organized person in the world, and Colin has brought a lot of discipline and shape and form to a lot of what we've done. And so 2023 looks fantastic. I do also want to thank my revenue team, Paul at the back there. Paul, who you should interview our revenue team one day on the incredible job that they do. So thank you very much. I haven't said this for a long time, but today I really believe it. I always wanted us to have the best customer service. I always dream about that. And for one reason or another, it was always never something that we really could focus. So I want to say the 3 things I said 21 years ago when I started this airline. Dare to dream. It's okay to dream. All stars. It's okay to dream. And we're dreaming again. From 3 years ago when we had 200 planes on the ground, today virtually everyone is back, no one's on furlough, and we're soon to be flying 90 million people with 200 planes. It's a dream for me. It's a second dream, because restarting this airline was probably harder than starting it again. And believe the unbelievable, because we're going to do some incredible, unbelievable things, not just in AirAsia, but with ride-hailing. We're going to come up with amazing things on ride-hailing, with our travel product, with logistics. Teleport is now delivering to places in ASEAN in 1 day at half the cost of the incumbents. And what we're doing with food, you'll soon see some revolutionary in-flight food, which will cut down. What we're going to be doing with sustainability, what our engineering company is doing is world-breaking. So, dare to dream and believe the unbelievable, because you're seeing a group of all-stars, they can do the unbelievable. And finally, to all of you, especially Mariana, who never accepted no. I always say never take no for an answer. And she kept saying, no, you're wrong, Tony, we have to be better. So well done, we will be better, and if we're not better, all of you are fired. On that note, I kind of enjoyed firing Ava. It kind of gave me that kick when I was back in The Apprentice. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being great supporters of AirAsia all this time. We're honest, we're transparent, we're going to be better. Give us some time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony, for the presentation. Can we please invite Colin and Bo on stage as well for a quick photo op with the rest of the team? Thank you. Media members, please prepare your camera as we are setting up for a quick photo opportunity. Excuse me, Noor, Izal, can you please remain on stage? Thank you. Excuse me, D, can we have you slightly on the left? Kasavan, can we have you slightly on your left and on the right? We'll put up the center for a great photo opportunity with Bo. Thank you. All right, everyone, can we have a pose pointing at Bo? All right, media members, here is your photo opportunity. Thank you, everyone. Let's give a round of applause to Allstar Asbo. Now, we all want to get up close and personal with Asbo. With that, let's have a look at this presentation video.
Got questions about your upcoming travels? Hi, I'm Bo and I'm here to provide some assistance. With my new Smart Search feature on AirAsia Super App, you can get answers to your queries within seconds. Information about your upcoming flights, departure airport, boarding gate and more are now available at your fingertips. You can also get updates on baggage status, baggage collection and bag tag numbers. If you're traveling abroad, I can keep you informed on the latest travel requirements. In the event of any disruption or cancellation, you can skip the queue and easily request for flight compensation on your own. I want to make your journey seamless and convenient every step of the way. To learn more about me, download AirAsia Super App today.